Hi, this is Christopher Clark, Town Administrator for the Town of Harwich. I've decided to dedicate this month's version of the Administrator's comments towards the sewer project. I know you say, well, here he goes again, but quite honestly, I did attend a neighborhood meeting. A resident invited us into their home, myself, my assistant, and the engineer for the project. And I wound up spending about 2 hours fielding a fair amount of questions. So I know that there's a lot of questions that are still out there, and I just wanted to address really a couple of items today just to kind of put things in context. It is at the tail end of summer or the beginning of fall in 2018, just as a reference point if you do come across this video later on. The first is that I just want to do a public thank you to the Wastewater Support Committee. They have put a lot of time and energy along with staff, Megan Eldridge and Dan Pelletier. Both of those I think I've done some videos with in the past. Megan is our health director and has been kind of entwined in the process of helping people find out where their existing septic system is, and we have those plans for individuals that have homes in the Phase 2 project. And then Dan Pelletier is the wastewater superintendent, and he also has been out to kind of meet with people and show them where their water line is and where their septic system is. But the Wastewater Support Committee took a kind of a next step, and they have done it in coordination with town staff. And they have a pamphlet, which I'm going to kind of hold up, but it will be more available on the website. I have two visual aids, if you would, today. One is this pamphlet, which is the 5 steps to hook up to the town sewer system. So what I want to do is I will kind of read through those 5 steps with you kind of quickly. Some of this is a repeat for folks that have seen some of these videos before, but we are getting more detailed, and as we get closer to the project actually going in the ground, we'll have even better detail. Step 1, I think I've been calling this do your homework. Here they say determine the location of your septic system and your water service. So understanding where your septic system is it in my backyard, is it in my side yard, is very relevant for this project. And then also, where is my water service? Usually you go into the basement and you'll see that you have if you have a basement or in your house, you'll see where the water meter comes in. Usually as an indicator, if it's on one end of the house, the water line usually runs a pretty straight shot to the street. There are some exceptions to that, but I think as a general rule, that holds. So you want to find out where your septic system is and where your water line is. Once you've done that, step 2, they have here, decide on the location of your stub or for the town sewer pipe lateral connection. What they're really trying to say in this section is now that you know where your water line is, you know where your septic line is, and you know that, well, maybe you don't, but one of the basic rules is you have to have 10 foot of separation between those two. So you want to look and see, where do I want to put that pipe closest to the street? So I think they're referring here to kind of the stub. And then the lateral is what the town through CDM and ultimately the contractor who gets selected to do the work will put in. So in this material it has in here that CDM Smith, the town engineer, town's engineering design consultant, will send out a postcard. I've been referring to the postcard, and ask you where you would like on your property line for this lateral to occur. So if you have the west side of your house and you have a garage and you know that that's where your sewer or your current septic line is, you may want to plug in there. So what you want to do is you want to match up your stub, your line coming out with the lateral from the town to just say, I'd like to have it here. If we don't get a hold of people, or people don't respond to the postcard, or people don't want to coordinate with CDM, CDM obviously will do the best judgment they can and try to locate the lateral where they think it's most appropriate. But obviously working with us would make the process that much smoother. At that stage, once you have kind of your basic information down, you probably do want to consider, and it is by our selectmen's sewer commissioners rules, to hire a professional engineer to actually design out. We need to make sure that the decommissioning of the septic system occurs and that the location of the new line and the flow of the new line makes sense for the house. So some homes, most of the homes in phase 2 are related to, we took the elevations off what's called the sill. So if you have a foundation or even a slab, the sill is the location where the slab or the foundation then meets the wood part of the house, the actual structure of the house itself. So we set the elevation for that. And I think that's a good reference point because it gives us a good sense for how the house is situated. The thing where you could run into potential concerns is that what happens if I have a bathroom in the basement and the has to be pumped up, or if my septic system is lower below the basement floor instead of at the sill. Some of those, and this is where a professional engineer could render some assistance in that. We do require by our regulation to have a stamped plan for the professional engineer to engage. Once you have it designed, once the sewer goes down the street, once you have, we're ready to go, you will receive a notice in the mail. It's really around that time, we anticipate that to be May of 2021 or June of 2021, that you would then want to, once the construction is done by the town and the pipes are available and the system is available for functioning, you'll get your letter from the town with the town logo on it. That says you have a year to hook up. It's at that stage that you would want to hire a licensed utility installer to come in and basically execute the plan that the professional engineer put together. So that would be the stage where you want to make sure you get that work done. And then the fifth and final step is abandoning your existing septic system. Usually what will happen is the licensed utility installer will take a day or a half day and will cut over from your septic system to the sewer system, and then you'll be off and running. We will have an inspector that will make sure the work is done on the town side, so there is some regulatory steps that you will have to take. Most likely a discussion with our water department, our Board of Health or Health Department, and then also there will be some discussion that will be needed with the Conservation Commission. If for some reason you want to relocate your sewer line and put it close to a wetlands or through a wetlands, that is going to be a different regulatory process. We are looking at that now to make that process as smooth as possible and make it as administrative as possible, so just the clerk will look at, or the professional director will look at it for conservation. The other one that they did put together is the homeowner's sewer connection guidebook. Both of these documents are on the website, I believe in draft form, will be on the website in final form shortly. So if you want to kind of have a Q&A in terms of what does all this mean, this actually walks you through a little bit more. I think the idea behind the committee was to help to have homeowners get a sense for, okay, what is the kind of the how-to, the instruction book on how to do this, to connect up, to have the process be as smooth as possible. I do want to just kind of finally say we certainly do have a situation in which we live in a country that is a democratic capitalist society. And certainly capitalism is a good thing in a lot of respects. It creates innovation. There are some times in which some of these businesses do try to encourage people to sign up or sign up quickly so your deal doesn't run out. And I just want to make sure timetable-wise, a lot of this work, do those homework stages, decide where you want to have the location. If you want to hire a professional early so you get a jump on it, that makes some sense. But just do your homework. Get 3 or 4 different price quotes from people. Make sure anyone that comes in and tells you, it's like a used car salesman that comes in and tells you, oh, this deal's only going to last till Friday, so sign up now. That's probably something wrong and something of concern. So go out and get additional quotes is really the advice I would give you. And then on the install as well, we will have a list of licensed utility installers. and we will make that available for folks, but get price quotes from them as well. So this is a little bit of work, but in terms of project, this isn't a month-long project for people. I mean, this should be probably a week's worth of work if you do the homework, getting the professional engineer in. So it is obviously different, but once you are hooked up to the sewer, you literally will flush and forget, which is kind of a nice thing. Because we'll take care of the town, we'll take care of the cleaning of the material and putting the water back into the environment. So I know we're getting closer to the project. We do anticipate having the final design plans and having the bids out in the spring of 19, with the hope that the work will commence in the spring of 19 or potentially in the fall of 19. So you will see construction work commencing. There are some borings being done now, so you will see some people drilling holes in some of the roadways. That's just to test the subsurface area, so when they do dig, we know what we're in for. So hopefully, I know Caleb already gave me my 10-minute mark, so I'm running long. But just wanted to kind of take a few minutes and just remind people where we are and where we're headed, and let's hope that we have a good project. Christopher Clark, Town Administrator, thank you for your time and attention.